Hi, it's Christine Stowe here, and I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about my journey. You see, a few years ago, I had it all going on. I was in a corporate role, flying all around Australia and New Zealand, advising doctors and anaesthetists on our products. I was a national technical advisor for a medical product. And I had two girls. I just had my second daughter, and I found out there was something wrong with my second daughter. And it's fair to say the bottom fell out of my world that day when the child and maternal health nurse said she's not meeting her milestones. So from there I was slung like a spinning top into a world that I didn't think I belonged in. A world of disability, a world of doctor's appointments, going from doctors to doctors to doctors, finding out what was wrong with my gorgeous child. And that was a journey. And there were some really hard times. Really hard times. Some days were just really dark. But I decided along the way that this was not the way that I was going to live my life. I decided that I would find a way. That I would find a way to make my life mean something. You see, once my daughter had been diagnosed, once we were slung into this world, I lost my identity. I was no longer that corporate advisor. I was no longer somebody that was looked up to, somebody that was making sales, that was making, $1 million sales. My life took on a different meaning. My life took on a whole different direction in disability and doctors. And at one stage I counted there was at least 10 health professionals involved with my daughter. And that's a lot of people, that's a lot of juggling. I didn't think I belonged in that world. But as time went on, and I felt like I couldn't use the skills and abilities that I had. I have a postgraduate education, and I couldn't use those skills and abilities. And I tried to work, I tried to juggle, I tried to, do the corporate thing and get back into it, but then I wasn't spending time with my family. And I still had to take time out to do the hospital appointments, to follow up and to make sure that my daughter had what she needed, because she needs a whole lot of extra care. She needs 24/7 care, she needs medication, she needs someone to sit with her, and it was just a juggle. But along the way, I decided that there must be a different way. There must be something else out there. So I changed the way I thought. I changed my thinking, I changed my mind process, my mindset. And I started to believe, and I started to look, I started to think about how could I make this work? How could I work around her care and feel like I had something to offer to the community? So I set on a pathway, and I was seeing a counsellor, lovely lady. I was seeing a counsellor, to make sure I was okay and, to get back on track. I've been doing all this work and I was feeling really good. And then I decided that I wanted to get into employment because I knew that was part of my identity. I knew that would make me feel like I belonged. And so I decided that, finding a job is what I wanted to do. And I was seeing this counsellor and I was, pretty excited. And, I went along to this counselling session and I thought that, she would help me get into employment. And so I said to her, okay, I feel okay now. I want to get a job. She said, nice lady, don't get me wrong. But she said, you can't get a job. You're a carer. That's why you get the carer's pension, because you can't get a job. And I was like, oh, okay. Thanks for that. And as I walked out, I thought, that's the last time I'm seeing her. And it was. In my head, this was something that I wanted to do. And I was going to find someone who believed that I could, not somebody who's told me that I couldn't do it. So from there, I went on another journey, if you like, another journey where I thought, who's gonna help me and believe that I can do it? Who's gonna help me map out a pathway to get to where I wanted to go? And I'd had interactions with life coaches before, so I sought out a life coach, and I did a program with the life coach, and she took me on a journey. And it's why I am where I am today. If I didn't take that journey, if I didn't take those steps to find that life coach, in fact, the counselor did me a favor because, by saying that you can't do that, made me look for someone who believed that I could. So I looked around and thought, who would help me get back into the workforce? Who would believe that I could? And who would believe that and help me map out that pathway? So I found a life coach. And I still love her today. She's fantastic. But she helped me take those steps. She helped me take the steps to do the things that I've done. So, I've been able to, as a result, I've been able to take my daughter to Disneyland, and we had a fabulous time. Something pretty unbelievable. And that was because I believed that I could. I believed that I could take my daughter, I believed that I could make it happen, and I did. And I believed that I could stand in a council election. I believed that I could stand in a state election. I remember being in the workshop with this life coach, and she was asking everybody why they were there, and I said, well, because I want to stand in a federal election, I want to stand in a state election. And everybody looked at me like I was from outer space. People do that a lot to me. They looked at me like I was from outer space and kind of, thought that I was nuts. But you know what? Since then, I stood in a council election. I've been elected to council. I've been on local government, taken my daughter to Disneyland. I've helped women. I've helped so many women uncover their money blocks and work on them to overcome what's holding them back. And you know what else? I stood in a federal election. I stood in a federal election against the opposition leader of this country. And I wouldn't have been able to do any of that if I'd taken the advice of that counsellor. So I've been able to do these things because I went out there and I found somebody who believed that I could, not people who are telling me that I couldn't. So if I've got anything to say, or if I've got any tips or advice that I can offer you, is that set your dreams. Set your dreams. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter how bleak it seems, or it doesn't matter, how difficult your circumstances are. Set your dreams to what you want to achieve, and find somebody who can help you get there. Find somebody who can help you take those steps to live that life that you want to live. Because now I've still got my daughter. She doesn't walk or talk. She's peg fed. She doesn't talk back to me. She requires 24/7 care still. That hasn't changed. And that's what I thought. That's not going to change. So it's no point me saying, poor me, or not living the life that I deserve, or not living the life that I could live by saying, this is a sad story, because it's not. She's beautiful, she smiles. I found a way to look after my daughter and to care for her and to be of value, to offer something, to be able to help others. So I've mapped out a program. I've mapped out steps. And I want to help you take the steps. I want to help other people take those steps that I've taken, because I'm living a fantastic life. Even though I'm still looking after my daughter, even though she still doesn't walk or talk, I'm living that life, and I want to be able to help other people see that pathway to take those steps, because I've done it. No, it's not easy. I never said it'd be easy, and it won't be. It's not easy. But it takes changing your mindset. It takes believing, and it takes finding someone who believes that you can, not someone who tells you that you can't. So I'm Christine Stowe. I'm the empowered carer, or empowered woman in business, whichever name we choose. And that's my story. So let me just say again, if your situation looks desperate, looks bad, you're caring for someone, or all of a sudden something's happened in your life and you think it's never going to be the same again. Well, it doesn't have to be. Set your goals and look at what that could be, and then work out what those steps are to get you there. Because that's what I did. Firstly, I believed there was a way. Secondly, I believed that there would be somebody that could help me. And I found that person. And I can be that person for you. So that's my story.